So yeah, I just turned myself off, and so now I have to start the whole thing over again. But you can see the books. So I'm come down here, mess with my laptop. I usually go to bed around 11. Well, I found this other book I was reading a couple years ago, Trip to Echo Springs on Writers and Drinking by Olivia Lang. And I read this one recently, The Lonely City, Adventures in the Art of Being Alone by Olivia Lang. And I was looking at, here's a book, Postmodern Sublime Technology in the American Writing from Mahler to Cyberpunk. This book was a mind bender. I really had a hard time reading this one. But here's another book by Rachel Kirshner. I showed you her new one, The Mars Room, The Flamethrowers. Oh, here's The Correspondence of Charles Bronski and Cheryl Martinia, 1960 to 1967. Beer, Spit, Nights and Cursing, edited by Stephen Moore. I was reading this the other day. I might even read this tonight. I also have by Bronski down here, Slouching Towards Nirvana, New Poems. And all kinds of books. I have Valley of the Dolls. This, I told you, I read this when I was in a young teenager, around 15. My mother, when she was alive, had this around our duplex. This is by Jacqueline Susan, the doll. A special edition of this came out last year. I don't know where it is. I bought it, but I don't know what I did with it. It was the 50th anniversary edition of it, but I don't know what I did with it. So that's what's going on here. Like I said, I'm just going to mess with the computer, read, and go to bed around 11, take my pills, my sleeping aids. Oh, here's my copies of Middlemarch. I have 3 copies of Middlemarch. As you know, Middlemarch by George Eliot is one of my favorite novels. So I have that. I also have this book, My Life in Middlemarch by Rebecca Mead. It's like a memoir and of her, how Middlemarch by George Eliot affected her life. And what else I have here? I have a biography on George Eliot, Voice of a Century by Frederick R. Carl. And I have another biography of hers, George Eliot, The Last Victorian by Catherine Hughes. Say, I'm always looking for copies of Middlemarch and books about Middlemarch. But so when I see editions at thrift stores, if they're cheap, I buy them. So that's it. I can make videos all night showing all the books that are in this one room. But you've seen videos of my books behind me, books. too many books. There's a whole another room I haven't shown you of all the books. But I'll sign off because I gotta read and go to bed. Bye.